Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, welcome back to the show. This is Hump Day. Hump
I'm
Day, Mike.
done. I'm done.
This is episode 520 of the Two Dumb Yinzers. We welcome you back. I want to say yesterday, I apologize. We apologize. We did not have a show for anybody that was anticipating, waiting to join. I had a lifelong childhood friend had passed away on Monday night in a pretty tragic way. I'm not going to get into it, but I just do want to apologize. That's why we weren't here yesterday, but we're back. Here we are.
Here
Mike,
we
he's
are.
got all kind of changing backgrounds.
I'm trying to find something that I like that's not going to cause the camera to shimmy and shake today.
Appears that he's in Tampa Bay somewhere right now.
You know what? I was trying something new today. This is the thanks I get
All
for trying
right.
to liven up my background as I'm in the mobile studio.
And then there's Derpy.
Derby.
Derpy, our St. Patrick's Day leprechaun is in the house. How you doing, Derpy?
I'm doing good, fellas. I'm doing good.
All right. Well, we do want to welcome everybody back.
Yes.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Got all kind of things we're going to talk about today. I'm going to get started in just a second. But a couple
All
things,
right.
a couple observations
Mm-hmm.
that I made over the past couple days since we spoke to you last. Get this one, guys. I know everybody likes a good conspiracy theory, but I was watching this video where this guy was claiming that cancer actually tries to heal, it tries to save us. And basically the argument was the tumors that we grow are made are it's our body's way of they form to absorb the cancers, the cancer, the cancer stuff in us, and then they go and they cut it off, and like that's a good way, that's how you get rid of your cancer. You get rid of these tumors and things like this. So technically, so basically what he's saying in the argument is the cancer is there to try to save you from whatever it is that's forming inside the tumors, and which spreads throughout your body and allows you to fight it and to actually heal and recover from cancer, Mike.
I don't want that doctor anywhere near me.
Me
But
either.
when you think about it, though,
Stay the hell away
it's
from
not the
me.
dumbest thing ever when you think about it.
It's
And
up there.
there's
It's up
it's up
there.
there.
It's up there.
Let's just say the tumors didn't form, and whatever it was that was causing the cancer didn't form into these tumors, and they just spread throughout your body, and there was no way to fight it. But because of the tumor, you could actually fight whatever it is.
The tumor is the cancer. They're just mutated cells that are dying, and that they're
Right, and they're and they're
that's
and
what's
they're
killing you. Yeah, can't,
and they're,
no.
and they're rounding them up in the cancer tumor, and you could heal the cancer by removing the tumor.
Well, yeah, that's how you cure cancer. You cut out the tumor.
Right. So the cancer itself is actually trying to save you. It's
This
trying
is
to.
like this guy smoked too much pot and thought he had something. I thought he had an idea.
So there you go. Another
Yeah,
thing is
this
this.
guy thought he was on to something, and he just more or less described cancer and tumors. What this guy did.
Also, on 4/8 next month, April 8th, a lot of people across the country are anticipating this eclipse. People are traveling far and wide, coming to
Mm-hmm.
places where this eclipse is supposed to take it's supposed to go right up through America
Yeah.
here. The timing on this is what got my attention, not the eclipse itself, not the big the event, the hype of the eclipse, but the eclipse, which also in that week is preceded by the blood moon, followed by the death comet, and then after that, the two types of locusts that are supposed to come out for the year, where we only usually get the one type of locust. So I don't know, guys, if the abyss opens up and swallows us in a couple of weeks. I just want to say it's nice to know everybody.
I would. This is the perfect time for what the super volcano that everyone talks about under Yellowstone to blow
Yeah.
up is when we have this eclipse as it makes the final X
Well,
across
that's what they're saying.
America.
They're saying that there's a lot of seismic action going on underneath the
Mm-hmm.
underneath whatever that is that you just said.
Yeah, so
What
hey,
is it?
I'm waiting for when the X
What is that, a
forms
volcano?
dim.
Is that a volcano you said?
Yeah, it's like a super volcano.
Yes.
Wouldn't you just
And
shit if the volcano goes off during that time?
you know what? That would be a perfect way to end humanity.
You're right.
The perfect X comes by, DMX rises out from the super volcano, and humanity is just swallowed up into the super volcano. That's what I want to see at this point in time.
So there you go. I'm gonna shut the door now. We're gonna talk about sports. Let's talk about something
Let's
happy.
go.
Let's talk about some sports.
Let's talk about something happy. Guys, I do want to do this before we get started. The NCAA tournament, the big dance, as you will. I need your predictions, guys. Who's going to win this thing before it gets rolling? We can't wait a weekend. We can't wait till teams are starting to get knocked out. Guys, I'm taking Purdue. I'm telling you right off the top, Purdue's going to win it all. Mike Derpy, I need your picks officially, and then we can move on because, as I said, we can't have people going, well, I got this, but that team already lost. This team, you need it now. My team's Purdue. Mike, who do you want?
Oh God, I haven't even really looked
You know
into
what?
this.
Think
Let's
about
go
it.
with Mark. I'm going Marquette, baby.
All right, Marquette, Derpy, who do you like?
Give me the Houston Cougars.
The Houston Cougars, Marquette, and Purdue. That is our 3 official picks, guys. So write it down. Remember it, because here in a couple of weeks when the national championship comes along, we will certainly bring this back up. But now we're going to talk about some important things like the Pittsburgh Steelers. Guys, here is something interesting about the Pittsburgh Steelers. One of their latest signings or latest draws they got, Mr. Justin Fields. Some people don't realize this, Mike Derpy. Justin Fields since 2022 has more rushing yards than
Lamar Jackson,
Jalen Hurts, and Josh Allen. He has since 2022 1,800 rushing yards with a 6.3 yards per carry. That's the highest in the NFL amongst people with a minimum of 200 carries. Lamar Jackson behind him by over 200 yards in that period of time. Lamar has 1,585 rushing yards in that same period of time for a 6.1 yards per carry. Jalen Hurts, 1,365 yards for a 4.2. And finally, Josh Allen, 1,286 yards in a 5.5 campaign. Mike, is there any way that we could keep something this productive off the field? I understand that he's playing second fiddle. He's backing up Russell Wilson, which I'm fine with, but there's got to be a way to get the quarterback who ran for more than Lamar Jackson, the MVP, that ran for more than Jalen Hurts, the Super Bowl participant, and more than Josh Allen, all in that same time period. Mike, is there anything that this offense is going to do? Is there anything that Arthur Smith is going to do to include Justin Fields in what it is that the Steelers are doing offensively? Because you know what? His production is too scary to ignore and to have on the sideline.
Yeah, they'll have to come up with a couple packages for him, and in goal-to-go situations, short yardage situations. But you can have him, Najee, and Jalen Warren back there do read options, anything, spread out the defense, go 4 wide, spread them out so you can do a designed run or like those read options. I said that you have to find a way to use them. You don't want to, but at the same time, you don't want to take away from the momentum of the game. You got to be smart when you use these packages. And, he's a great athlete. And I'm looking at the stats now. You talked about his rushing. Completion percentage is getting better year over year. But I would have no problem, handful of plays a game in the right key situations, bring him in and let him run. Let him run with Najee, see what happens.
To have somebody this valuable wasting away on the sideline. And I understand that we're in a good predicament. Again, this is a good predicament to have.
Yeah.
You got your guy, you have your future Hall of Fame quarterback, your guy that won a Super Bowl, your guy that's done amazing things in his league. Let's be honest. And then you have a guy that has production like Justin Fields, again, 1,800 yards rushing.
Yeah.
Since 2002, Mike. That's amazing. And 6.3 yards per carry. There's, again, how can you seriously say you're trying to win football games?
Yeah.
If you don't have the guy that's putting these kind of numbers up, and this is in a Chicago team that isn't any good. Imagine being on a Steeler team that's it's kind of we're a pretty good team, and as I said, we're getting better, and I would say that we're certainly better than the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
But it's gonna
Well,
feel, as I said, if you're down 10 points in a game, or just in a game where you're thinking, man, how could we get we need a big pick me up.
yeah.
How could you seriously look over and see Justin Fields standing on the sideline and think to yourself, okay, well, let's try this pass over the middle to so and so. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just, it's going to seem very weird to know that this shiny car is in your garage, and
Mhm.
you just can't drive it yet.
Yeah, like I said, I'm almost confident they're going to come up with packages for him to get in there. Like it would be a total failure of Arthur Smith to not have something for him, because like you said, he can kill you. It even he still can hit the deep ball. He can make all the throws, but you can still use him back there in like a play action situation too as well. People are going to key on him to run, and he has the ability to scramble and throw outside the pocket, and that can
Now,
open up a wide receiver, that can open up a tight end, for a big game that way as well. So you can utilize his legs, but then have plays in that package as well that utilize his legs to use his arm to free up a wide receiver.
can you see the Steelers? I mean, is it possible, Mike, in the NFL, you don't see this, to use two quarterbacks regularly in your game plan?
Uh See, I wouldn't, and one of the reasons why is I don't want to trigger Fields to have 51% of the snap. I don't want to give up that fourth round pick. So
Right.
I would use it very
That's a
limited. Like,
lot of snaps.
so that is a lot of snaps, but they can come quick.
Hundreds.
But it can come quick if you want to use them for we're going to use them a big chunk of in this quarter we're going to use them a lot. This quarter we're going to use a lot. It can add up. I don't want to get to that point, but I'd have no problem in like key situations to where, hey, we know this play right here with Justin Fields, it's going to give us like a 90 to 95%. We're converting this for a first down, or we're converting it for a touchdown. We have a better percentage chance with him. We have with Russ back there in this play. So I would do it in those situations. But
You know what I like?
you keep in the quarterback coach that we had that we took from the Chargers, he'll be working with Fields too. I have a feeling too, and so he'll be getting developed the passing game that way too. And you use these nice little run packages to where he's learning how to be a better passer in the league, but still using what separates him from a lot of people, his running ability in this offense.
Guys, I do want to say welcome to everybody on the board. I'm sorry, I was flipping around my screens when you and these guys were talking. I do want to say good morning to Ron, and I do want to say good morning to Brian. Brian says TJ Watt doesn't even play 51% of the defensive snaps, which is true.
It feels like it.
It feels like it. And I also do want to say I do feel for you, Ron. I was wondering how you've been and where you was, and I'm glad to see you're back. Unfortunate to hear things that you guys are dealing with. So you will certainly be in our thoughts. One thing about when this time of year you're bringing guys in, it always feels really good because everybody can't wait to be a Steeler. You see this every year. You make these free agent signings, no matter who they are. They could be the top guy or the bottom guy on the list, but everybody's excited. They want to get at it. They want to be a Steeler. And then it's funny because after the season's over and things don't go their way, they're they always have, they all have something to say.
Like we all want to go play. You saw it like last year. Everyone wants to go play for the Jets.
Yeah.
Now they're like, no, that was a mistake. Or, oh yeah, we're going to go with the Giants. They're building a team.
I'm going to get to Kenny in a second here. It's kind of a segue to Kenny, but you know what I'm saying about Russell Wilson? He comes out and he says, "quote There are 6 trophies in there. Time to go get a 7th." And it's almost like a revived outlook on the team, and he's bringing this whole energy to town. And he did say before the move was made that he would at least like to win a couple more Super Bowls in his career.
Yeah.
If he thinks he can and he wants to bring that energy, and it's a whole new thing, certainly bring it here. If you're going to win another Super Bowl, by all means, do it in Pittsburgh.
Exactly.
And as I said, but when the time comes and goes, things don't go your way, you don't win a Super Bowl, the fans might boo you a little bit. And then everybody always has something negative to say, which, is fine. But Kenny, if these guys caught the other day, he caught his press conference, which, I don't have a problem with Kenny. There's so many crybabies in this league. It's almost
Professional sports in general.
what's that?
Professional sports in general.
Well, yeah, and the thing is, I'm going to give it to every single one of them. If I'm going to give it to Deontay, I'm going to give it to KP. The fact of the matter is, I was never truly troubled by KP, but I do have a problem with him walking away, talking shit. I mean, on one hand, he's saying, you know what, we expected this to happen. I'm going to have a good reset in Philadelphia, which is fine. And I think moving is going to actually help his career. But I don't know if anybody heard his wife, this little bitch.
I did
Anybody,
not see this.
anybody ever see this? Amy Pickett. Amy Pickett makes it clear that she's happy they're no longer in Pittsburgh. You know what? Who the fuck are you?
Right?
Who cares what Amy Pickett said? And you could tell she's a biatch. You could just tell sometimes by looking at people. She does. She has that resting bitch face, and she always kind of, I don't know, she always has the snideness to her.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what? Screw you. Just 2 seasons ago, they were so happy to be here.
They just couldn't. They loved Pittsburgh so much.
They went out and bought all their furniture from Levin, as we all know. But now they
I want to see Russ go up and take the Levin spot now.
I do too. But now she makes
Now
it clear
makes
they're
clear that-
happy. They're no longer in Pittsburgh. It almost seems like Philadelphia is more destined for him. He's
Mhm.
always been that Eagles fan. There's childhood pictures of him with Eagles jerseys. So good for him. On one hand, he's my dude. He is a Pitt dude. I pull for him as I do for everybody else that comes out of Pitt University. But on the other hand, F off, take your stupid wife with you. Nobody gives a shit,
Exactly.
We're getting better.
Yeah,
Exactly.
much better. From where we were the end of the year to now. Like a lot of his comments, like Kenny made too, like going back to last season. Have you learned anything? Watching the game? No.
Right.
That's a
Found
bad
out.
response.
Found out
At
there
least
was
he's
gonna be-
honest. I mean, on
Yeah, I
one
give him.
hand,
Give
maybe
him
he's just a
credit for being
dummy,
honest.
which
We
he's
want
never
people-
really came across as a very smart person to me. I'm going to be honest with you. If you watch him and his actions and some of
Yeah.
his facial expressions,
Yeah.
he doesn't really come off as the smartest guy. I just want to
No.
throw that out there.
No, and just like the whole way, excuse me, everything ended last year. Then when he found out Russ was coming, he canceled
Right.
the training session instead of inviting Russ or going, "Hey Russ, what do you normally do? We can, hey, you're the new guy. We'll be accommodating. We'll go. Do you want to go? We'll watch how you run things."
Which he was making all the right moves early, Mike. He was doing all the, come on, guys, let's go down to Florida. Let's have. Remember last year, the season wasn't over for 45 minutes, and he already had the receivers in Florida throwing passes at him. So he knows how to do the right things. He just, as people do, in their job, you sometimes see that, that change in them once they know now, you know what, I don't have a chance at that position, or I'm not going to be here much longer. You get that attitude, that personality, and that's what you got from Kenny. So I can't hold that against him. But at the end of the day, I do, when people are crybabies around sports, I do got to give it to him. So I do give it to him in that, that aspect. But at the end of the day, I wish him the best. I hope he does well in Philadelphia and anywhere else that he plays after that. But you know what? So long. Nobody's going to miss you here. We're going to go win some Super Bowls, and you're going to be pushing Jalen Hurts tush all around the field or something weird shit.
Right? Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever they do
I just love how, Omar Khan, like, people don't want to be here. We're going to trade you to like the worst situation possible for you.
They gave him two choices.
It's either you get in line or we're gonna make it rough for you wherever you're going. It's cutthroat business. And Omar Khan ain't messing around.
They said he could either go to the Philadelphia Eagles, which he did. And the New Orleans Saints was the other choice. They literally gave him two teams.
And the Saints would have been a better choice for him. He would have had a chance to start down.
Right.
He would have had a chance to compete down there. Whereas going to Philly, you're not competing. Maybe that's what, he's more comfortable just being the guy in the background. Not being the guy.
So we certainly will follow his career.
We followed what AB, Bell,
no choice.
Claypool, we're following around. We're starting to follow around Kendrick Green. How's he doing down there in the Texans? So of course, we're gonna obsess over what's Kenny doing.
A couple former, I don't want to say one former linebacker and one guy that's still in the system, but making a little bit of a comeback. To talk about Cole Holcomb is back in the gym. I'm seeing videos. I'm seeing pictures.
I
He's
did
gonna
see that.
lose. He's gonna lose his starting inside linebacker job, which is
Oh
fine
yeah.
to me, and which is fine to Steeler Nation because we're gonna have a strong backup inside
Oh
linebacker.
yeah. You have a starting caliber behind Queen and Landon with
Yep.
him. Oh
Patrick Queen and a Landon Roberts, and then you're gonna have, yeah, as you said, and maybe not being on the field as often will preserve him a bit.
yeah, yeah. Because knee injury this year, ankle injury the year before. He had nothing before that. It's just like these past 2 seasons back to back. He hit the injury bug, and it'd be nice, keep him healthy. And Steelers rotate the inside backers a lot, so he's going to see a good amount of playing time too. But like you said, he'll be healthier and fresher, especially down the stretches where kind of killed us last year on that defense. Part of that 3-game losing streak is that middle of the defense was getting exposed a lot with a lot of new faces there. So if he can stay healthy and the 2 guys in front of him keep playing the way they did last year, that's a nice inside backing trio.
And also in the linebacking core on the outside, Mr. Bud Dupree is talking about a lot of interest in coming back.
Yeah.
You know what? If we lose Marcus Golden, which I think we did or we're going to,
God,
I wouldn't be opposed to having Bud Dupree come back. I mean, he's not playing the
Me
starting
either.
role, which is fine. You know what I mean? He lost a little bit off his production when he went
Yeah.
to Tennessee and then when he moved again. But you know what? You throw him back in the mix with TJ or whoever on the opposite side in Pittsburgh, I think his production's going to go up as it did the first time he was in Pittsburgh. It just when you have that help opposite side, that helps out a lot. And the defense is getting better as well. You're bringing in better linebackers and on the inside. So I wouldn't have any problem. I would have no problem at all with Bud Dupree coming back, backing up Alex Highsmith.
Me either. He was down in Atlanta last year. He had 6.5 sacks last year.
Yeah.
No, I don't know how many snaps he played or anything, but that's not bad production if he can come off the bench and provide that type and still be able to play. So 6.5 sacks, that's nothing to really laugh about. So not bad. 39 tackles. So yeah, he wasn't a full-time starter down there, but he played every game.
So there you go. Bud Dupree's interested in coming back.
I take that back. He did start all 16 games in Atlanta last year. Yeah, so that's not bad. That's like his third best sack total in his career. So I bring him back on a 1-year deal if you can't get Marcus Golden.
Well, the thing is, that's the big thing now is these 1-year deals. I'm noticing. I'm looking around the league.
Yeah.
Everybody that's signing is a 1-year deal.
Yeah, or you sign like that 2-year deal that's really a 1-year deal.
Oh no! Now you ruined my segue. Shh. The 1-year deal screws us though. Again, yesterday, Mike Williams makes his way around the league to visit teams to start this week out. First, he went to visit somebody, I don't know, but yesterday he went to go visit the Jets, and he was supposed to come visit us today. He didn't make it past New York. Jumping back to the offensive side of the ball. Sorry for jumping around, but it's just the way things are today. He didn't make it past New York. They gave him a 1-year, $15 million deal. So Mike Williams did get absorbed. He did not even get a chance to come and talk to the Steelers. Of course, we're coming through our options at wide receiver because, quite frankly, we need one. But Mike Williams, guys, going to the Jets, 1-year, $15 million. Mike, what do you think, man?
That was a good signing for them. Like, he's been banged up past couple of years.
It's a bit of an overpay, a little bit.
Yeah, a bit of an overpay. The receiver market's getting crazy.
Seems to me that he has a hard time staying on the field.
That's the issue right there. I know, like the 1 year, he was trying to come back from the injury, and they should have set him down. But Brandon Staley, the genius that he is, activated him and had him play and re-aggravate an injury, so that kind of set him back. But before those 2 injuries, he was a healthy player and a damn good player. So if he can stay healthy, which is an issue now for some of these guys, once you get that injury bug late in your career, it just keeps coming back and back. Bit of an overpay for him. He's the kind of guy, been an $8-9 million a year prove it deal is what, I would like to see the Steelers been able to.
Boy, does this turn into a New York Jets move? You bring in this guy on a 1-year, $15 million, expecting big things from him. Okay, this guy's going to be one of our big receivers.
Yep.
He goes down with an injury, and New York is stuck on a $15 million. It just seems very, very Jetsy to me. And I expect these kind of things from them as you do from teams like them in Cleveland. But before you get get too caught up into this, Steelers insider hints at a wide receiver move bigger than Mike Williams. I'm going to drop names, and I'm going to tell you who we may be talking about, guys. Jerry Dulac. Jerry Dulac says that the Steelers says don't get so worried about Mike Williams getting taken by the Jets because the Steelers can be looking at something bigger. They might be going for a home run. And a few names that came up: Brandon Ayuk, from San Francisco, Deebo Samuel from San Francisco, little Justin Jefferson in there, and even Stephon Diggs, guys.
Yeah.
These are at least two of the four biggest wide receiver names in the NFL. If we could land one of these guys, and I don't even I mean, who are these for, Mike? Who would you most rather have? Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, Stephon Diggs, or Justin Jefferson?
In a perfect world where salary cap does not exist, give me Jetta. Give me Justin Jefferson. I think he is the best receiver in the league from just talent wise, all the whole thing. His route tree, his route running, his hands, size, speed combo. I think he's the best receiver in the game. He would be the one I want. Now, in a world
in a reality
exists in the salary cap, give me Brandon Ayuk. He's younger, a really good player. He's just now entering his peak. His route running is some of the best route running in the NFL. I would take him. He would be the one that I think you'd be able to sign to a salary that you could able to work through. He's looking to project around like $25 million. The receiver market is going crazy. It's going to be like quarterback money almost. So we saw the contract. Jerry Jeudy got from Cleveland. He way overpaid. If you're paying him that, Jetta, he's going to pay him $40
keeps spending
million.
this kind of money. They're literally only going to have Judge Jeudy and Deshaun Watson up there. There's going to be nobody else.
There's going to be no one there. Yeah, but so Ayuk, he's it's going to have to be a sign and trade. You're going to have to trade him and then sign him to a long-term deal. Let that money kick in next year. The money you're paying Cam could be money that you could pay this guy. Absolutely. And I think he could be a much better player.
How much more production do you get out of somebody like Brandon Ayuk than Cam Hayward at this point? Exactly. I would you know what? I don't know what I would do, but Cam Hayward would certainly be an area of interest for me and the rest of my people if I was the GM, because he is absorbing a lot of money for the minimal amount of production at this point.
And that's what's killing us right now is his salary preventing us from getting a receiver. Excuse me, a receiver in another high-end corner.
So I lean that way personally too, Mike. As soon as I read this, my first instinct was, man, I would love to have Brandon Ayuk. That would be the ideal person. Deebo Samuel, I don't know. There was something about him this past season that I kind of lost interest in him.
He has a limited skill set anymore. He's
the scene from the beginning, you would have thought this guy has unlimited skill set, but at the end of the day, it's very limited.
Yeah, you got to move him around, where he lines up. You got to put him in running back, put him out wide, put him in the slot. You have to bounce him around all the time, make special plays for him. Where his route running's not the best. Where someone like Ayuk, you can watch him run routes all day long, and it's just a work of art. He's the one I would want because he's hitting his prime now. In a salary cap, I would take him. Without a salary cap, give me Justin Jefferson. But reality, best case scenario would be Ayuk. But what's it going to take to get him? Is it going to take a first round pick this year? Okay, then now what are we scrambling for? Getting a center, getting a tackle, stuff like that. That's like my only
here's the
concern.
thing: Omar Khan hasn't showed any signs of not being able to come up with an answer. So exactly. If anybody, I would think,
I trust Omar.
This group of people will be able to come, put together some kind of package. I'm not sure, Mike. I think the last I seen, we have about 15 million left in available money to pay for contracts and things like this. Is that where we're at?
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry, I was checking the board real quick.
How much money? How much money do the Steelers have right now to spend?
Hold on, give me real quick. I have bookmarks that take me right there.
There is
Um,
another name out there.
according to overthecap.com, we have about 15 million left.
Okay, that's what I was seeing as well. So I
And
mean,
we haven't renegotiated any
right.
contracts either that could potentially be restructured. So
And another thing is we got to consider that we do have rookies coming in. We do
Yeah.
have so I mean, it's not going to be easy. But again, I think the silence. I like the silence on the matter because it seems like sometimes the less you hear from Khan and company, the more that seems to get done.
it comes out of nowhere.
It
Yeah.
comes out of nowhere. And it's like, holy shit, we have Brandon Ayuk. Holy shit, we have
Yeah.
a Hall of Fame, future Hall of Fame quarterback. I really like the way that these guys operate, and I like the way that they spend money because here's the thing: at the end of the day, when they're saving money, that doesn't help me none. I want my football team to win. My product that I'm buying is the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I want you to spend all that money to make sure we have the best possible chance to put the best possible team out there to win as many games as we possibly can. I don't care that you save money at the end of the day.
Yeah.
If you're, that does nothing for me.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like even like Kevin Colbert, even towards the end of his reign, he lost his fastball, but he always spent up to the cat. Gave there was money left over to in case someone got hurt, you got to sign someone, blah blah blah. But they would always spend to the cat. And you give the Steelers credit; they spend the money where they think they have to try and build a team. But I think Omar's doing it a whole hell of a lot better, getting better players and using the free agency market well, getting guys undervalued, like on their contract. Patrick Queen was supposed to have this monster contract, and for what we got him on the cheap. Getting Russell Wilson on the cheap, 6th-round pick for a quarterback who was a former 1st-round pick, has potential if he can get it all together to be a top 15 quarterback. He
was a top 12 quarterback last year, despite the lack of success that the Broncos had.
Exactly, yeah. And then you have someone like Fields coming along, like potential if he could get it all together, become more consistent, could be a top 15
which is all that you could hope for any quarterback coming to your organization, and this is any team. And
you're only spending a 6th-round pick on him, so it's a low risk, high reward. If it doesn't work out, oh well.
You go and you get this top receiver out of college. Let's just say Trevor Lawrence, who played in 3 national championships, owns every record. But at the end of the day, you don't know until they get out there and they do the job and they perform. You don't know what you're going to get. Everything is a risk. And as the people in New York found out last year, you could have the best case scenario coming, but after 8 seconds, it could all be done.
Because the way that team was built up in New York
was built around Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, and they had the defense that could have carried them deep into the playoffs, and then boom, it blows up like you said within 2 plays.
I do want to say good morning and welcome to Kenneth as well.
Yes,
on the board. Nice to see you back, brother. Also, let's see what else we got in the Steeler. Oh, okay. So Brandon Ayuk, not only is he a favorite for a lot of people, I think that thinks the way that we think, and that are just logical football fans here in Pittsburgh and abroad. Mike, Brandon Ayuk also coincidentally looks just like our head coach, and he pointed it out in a post, and he said something. Hey, twin, and people were starting to connect the dots and say, hey,
yeah,
wait a minute. Do we know? Did they know something that we don't know?
Yeah, because you usually don't do stuff like that unless there's been,
right.
You're almost signing on the dotted line. Things are in motion, or
it's like
Cole
Holcomb posting to Jim Harbaugh saying, "Hey, we look like you don't see it. It's not within your own team and an organization. You don't generally see things like that. So hopefully that's a good sign. There's been discrepancies and issues, I understand, from both parties internally that's talking about Tyler Boyd.
Yeah,
a lot of people early on was big Tyler Boyd, and I'm still a fan of him coming here, don't get me wrong. I want to get me some of that Brandon Ayuk too, but there's supposedly internal issues, so I don't know what's going on with that whole situation.
It's probably how he's going to fit, and the comments that he made, as when he was a Bengal and talking on the Steelers.
Yeah.
So does the owner not like that? Do some of the players not like that? But you got to understand that's part of the game. When you're part of the enemy, you're going to talk shit on your division rival, and when you get traded to that team or you sign to that team, it's water under the bridge. It's
Yeah.
it is what it is. It's nothing personal. He's just, whooped our asses so many times. He has the right to call us out.
Also want to say good morning to Ralph on the board. Ralph, I've always been a Sam Hartman fan for quite a few seasons at least. When he was in Wake and he played in the national championship against Pitt, Sam Hartman, he's a solid quarterback, and as you said, third, fourth, maybe even later than that. If you could get somebody like him to fill that last spot that we have, that's empty at quarterback, who knows what we're going to get. One thing that we do know, it's not going to be Josh Dobbs. Josh Dobbs signs with the San Francisco 49ers,
Good pickup.
which good pickup for them, right?
Yeah, yeah. Because they lost Sam Darnold, so why not bring in Josh Dobbs, who has had limited success. He's Dobbs is good in small doses.
Right.
You don't want a whole lot of Dobbs. And Purdy, I'm sorry, Purdy should have silenced just about every critic, taking that team to the Super Bowl and playing as well as he did there.
So far, so good.
Yeah, not bad for Mr. Irrelevant. I don't know, what people want more out of Mr. Irrelevant.
I don't want anything.
He's done a whole hell of a lot better than all the other quarterbacks from his draft class.
I gotta say this: I really don't care one way or the other. You knew San Francisco has this really good team, both sides of the ball. You just thought to yourself, if you get somebody who's decent enough to protect the ball to be their quarterback, they're going to do well. So I don't know. Stanford, I don't care one way or the other. The only thing that I care about them is that they don't win a Super Bowl at this point in my life.
They just don't win anymore.
Also, leaving San Francisco and go to New Orleans is Chase Young. Chase Young, guys. And that's basically over the last day, some of the moves that happened that we haven't had a chance to talk about.
The market has slowed down.
Yeah. Oh,
yes.
The feeding frenzy is finally over.
Yeah.
And now you're in that second, third wave of free agency where it's just going to be slow and boring.
Here's one for Derpy. I know this is a story that he's been hanging on. I'm sorry. Hold on. Derpy, you said somebody else that we were forgetting.
Well,
we were talking about receivers.
I sent it to you this morning.
Reynolds?
No, not Reynolds.
I'm sorry, Derpy.
I don't.
Terry McLaurin.
Oh yeah, from Washington.
Washington. Yes.
Is he any good?
Yeah, he's a pretty good receiver. Reminds you of same skill set as Deontay, a really good route runner. Probably has more consistent hands than Deontay.
I'm gonna tell you,
more of an upfield runner than Deontay. When
anything that's coming out of Washington, I just never, nothing good comes out of Washington. Nothing.
He's a real solid receiver. Usually around 1,000 yards a year. Yeah, from his least productive year was his rookie year, was 900 yards.
After that, 1,000 yards. Again, I don't want nothing out of Washington. I just Ralph on the board is reporting that Newsweek is reporting Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are breaking up. Which kind of falls further into my theory is that the relationship was never real. But again, that would be on a conspiracy show that we could do. I think that it was a manufactured relationship for money purposes. But there you go, Ralph.
They're in the Bahamas right now.
Maybe they're breaking up in the Bahamas. That's where you go to break up with people if you're rich, I think.
You go to the Bahamas.
Speaking of which, Derpy, I think Derpy might have a lot of interest in. Lev Bell announced he is creating an OnlyFans account to get intimate with his fans. His fans are men, right?
Women fans. They're the women love the ball.
I don't know absolutely any woman that's ever been. I've never had a conversation with a woman about Lev Bell. I gotta say, any woman that I know does not want to talk about Lev Bell. But anyway, if you are interested, Le'Veon Bell is creating an OnlyFans account to get intimate with his fans, Derpy.
Rock bottom for Lev Bell.
What's that?
Rock bottom for Lev Bell.
Nah, that's just a money-making opportunity.
Meanwhile, he's pulling his credit card out as we speak.
He is too. He's he's typing it in. OnlyFans. Oh, what's his name on there?
Brian, maybe she realized he's a big dummy, maybe. But anyway, be it as it may, guys, I got a few other things we got to talk about. We'll come back to football, but there are other big things also going on around the Berg. The Pittsburgh Pirates, guys, they only have about 8 days till opening day. They beat the Philadelphia Phillies. They're still in their terror, guys, in spring training. They beat Philly 11-2 on Monday. O'Neal Cruz tearing up. He has 7 home runs. He's batting over 350. I mean, if this guy isn't a candidate for comeback player of the year just from what we've seen in spring training, but again, we have a long how many games, Derpy?
162.
162.
162, baby.
So we're gonna see. We're gonna see how this season goes. The Pirates have their next game is today. They play the New York Yankees once again at 6:35. So also one other thing, Mike, Brian Reynolds, he was named the 3rd best left fielder in the majors by a certain source. You know what? If he could play halfway up to that,
Yeah,
I would be happy.
well,
He
right
better
now,
be because that bag he got.
he's batting 167 right now in preseason. Hey, he's doing better than Ohtani.
Alex
Ohtani's having a
Highsmith,
rough
everybody.
Yeah, and then also Paul Skeens gets reassigned to the minors.
one.
He's up
Yeah,
there
we
throwing
knew that was coming.
103 miles an hour. Probably the best athlete on the field. And we probably won't see him till the All-Star break. But you know how things go. You know how
Yeah,
things work,
it's how the Buccos operate.
how they do things.
Like I'm not opposed to sending him down, but once he starts dominating, you have to bring him up. You
Right.
have to bring him
Right.
up.
You can't waste that. Just
Yeah.
come on. Put a limit on him, or you just can't let him waste away in the minors. The guys,
No, you can't let him like hit his innings, cap in the minors this year.
right?
He has to play a lot in the majors, and then if you want to shut him down to protect his arm, go ahead, but let him play in the pros so he gets the taste of it for at least a couple months.
I agree. Also, the Penguins back in action last night with the New Jersey Devils.
Oof.
They lose yet again.
Rough.
Again, you win 1, you lose 3. Seems to be the route they're taking.
Yeah.
The Penguins are now 30, 29, and 9, barely keeping their head above water. The Devils not that good either. 33, 32, and 4 come in and they win. They win 5-2. Penguins back in action tomorrow night, 8:00 in Dallas. So tune in, watch the rest of this free fall, I guess. And
Oh.
at this point, I don't know. You tank, Mike? You tank?
You tank because right now you're sitting 9th place in the draft. You could potentially looks like the lowest we can go might they still have a ways to go. They might hit 8th, 7th, or 8th, depending on how bad we fall. Because right now we're a point ahead of the Kraken, and then there's 7 points between us and Montreal to get higher into the draft. So
Think about the NHL draft. You draft somebody, and then you don't see him for 13 years.
yeah, I know that's the only bad
Yeah.
thing. I say like if there's like a couple, yeah, because a lot of the guys that we could potentially be drafting, you won't see them in the pros for another 3 to 4 years. But you hit on one of them.
Yeah.
Hockey's just the worst for the draft. It's such a crapshoot in hockey.
You're right. Well, baseball,
They're
and
all
hockey,
teenagers. Baseball and hockey, so they're all teenagers.
they're just not interesting. And basketball and football, these are interesting drafts. People pay attention.
Yeah,
they invest their time, their energy, and they learn and see who's in, who's coming in.
Yeah.
And you know a lot about these guys. In baseball and hockey, it's the total polar opposite.
Yeah,
You
baseball.
don't know who these.
Yeah, baseball. Everyone's in high school unless you're like a good college player, and then hockey, they're up in the Canadian junior leagues and off in Europe. You don't know who they are unless you're like a puckhead that's completely invested in that.
So there you go. Penguins back in action to Friday night. I'm sorry, that's not even tomorrow. That's Friday night at Dallas,
God.
8 p.m. If anybody cares. The Duquesne Dukes, guys. Duquesne Dukes, the big basketball story in Pittsburgh. Who would have thunk with
Right?
Panthers, getting 22 wins in the ACC? This team does not make it. However, the Duquesne Dukes get the number 11 seed. They face off against the number 6 seed BYU in the big dance tomorrow, 12:30 on Thursday. You could watch Duquesne take on BYU, and boy, would it be something if they upset BYU.
Oh, I'd love it, man. Who's their coach down there? Drambo?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is his last hurrah. He said he's going to
I think it's a
retire
high
into the tourney.
possibility.
So yeah,
I mean, an 11-6
I'm rooting
isn't
for him, man.
yeah, that's not impossible.
No, that's in that range where you see upsets. So I'm hoping they can pull off the one win. That's all they have to do.
That would be nice, man. It would be it would make it worth it here in Pittsburgh, as I said,
It
especially
would.
after Pitt not getting in. A lot of people feel slighted. So to see Duquesne
Yeah.
do well and even get a win, I think would that
Well,
might settle
yeah.
some people down.
Well, if Pitt got the invite, they wouldn't have been able to go anyway because they had so many players that had to opt out of the NIT for personal reasons. So
Right.
if the same thing would have happened to the in the big dance if they got the invite there. Like, no, we can't make it. We got shit to deal with.
Yeah.
That's just my favorite excuse that Pitt is using why they couldn't make the NIT. Just say you don't want to play. Just say you don't want to go there.
You know how
You
I
think it's an
feel about
insult.
that. I don't like it anyway.
I don't
No
like it
matter
either,
who it
but
is,
I just
where it
hate
is,
how
what sport it is, not a
yeah.
fan.
I just hate that they're using we have personal matters that we have to attend to.
Yeah.
Then why you bitching you didn't make the tourney?
Yeah.
Be
So
consistent in your arguments. That's all I ask.
it's everybody, Mike. And this is
I know.
exactly why I do this with every team that does this. I'm
I
just
know.
not a
Just
fan. It's not
yeah.
good for the game. It's not good for
No.
Pitt. I think that you have to go to the athletic director, Heather Lyke. I think you have to go to people higher than her and say, listen, this is what we're doing. Because
Yeah.
in fact, here's a couple things going on. Your recruiting gets affected by it. Money
Yeah.
being made by the university is affected. I don't
Uh-huh.
think this is something that the team should vote on in a team room and make the decision on their
Yeah.
own. I don't like it.
No.
I never did. Again, I think this is a bigger decision because again, it's a lot bigger than just
Yeah.
oh, we don't want to play because we didn't make it. It's bullshit, guys. But we do got to move on. This is some of the guys. There's 5 guys that I was able to find from the Whippio area that's playing in the March Madness tournament. One is from Central Valley, Isaiah Warfield. He's playing at Howard. He is going to be playing in the big dance. Also, Jake DeMichel from Olsh is playing for Duquesne. Adu Thero from Quaker Valley, who I know personally. He's playing for Kentucky. Bryce Butler from Latrobe is playing at the College of Charleston. And finally, Ethan Morton from Butler is playing for Purdue. So 5 guys you can keep your eyes on, cheer for, root for from the Whippio area. See how close they could get to the prize, Mike.
Hey, hopefully one of them makes it pretty far.
Kentucky's got a good team. Calipari and them, they're from Moon Township. He's coming back to play, at Pittsburgh and Adu from Quaker Valley. And so there's a lot of connections there. Hopefully they can get hot early and maybe pick it up and make some noise. I would like to see Kentucky do it just because there's so many local ties. As you said, some of these other guys playing for Howard, Duquesne, College of Charleston, it's going to be tough for teams like that.
Yeah, Howard lost.
Did they lose?
Yeah,
they lost by 3 to Wagner.
Okay.
They had
And
3
then also-
opportunities to tie it, and
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Did you watch it, Derby?
I did watch it.
And then also Ethan Morton out of Butler's playing for Purdue, who is my pick. So we are going to certainly keep an eye on these.
Let's see if Purdue could get out of the first round this year.
If they could get out of the first round, I think they could go all the way. Sometimes that seems to be the key: get out of the first round.
You got to get out of the first round when you're one. That's key.
So that segs us all the way down to high school basketball, guys. Big news coming up here. High school basketball, as the last time we talked, Lincoln Park was still in the race for the state title run. Aliquippa, Lincoln Park in 4A, Aliquippa in 2A, and also the girls at Blackhawk were all in the running as of Monday at the to get a shot at the state gold here in Pennsylvania. It's called the PIAA state tournament. So this is how it played out, and this is where it's going. Lincoln Park gets the rematch against Hampton, who they played earlier this year. Lincoln Park wins 74-53. Lincoln Park is going back to defend their state championship from last year. They're going to play at 8 o'clock on Thursday against Archbishop Carroll. So Thursday, Lincoln Park versus Archbishop Carroll. Lincoln Park, the Leopards are going to defend their championship gold that they won last year, try to go back to back. In Double A, Aliquippa yesterday beats Fort Cherry. Yeah, Fort Cherry's not that far, and that's Marty Schottenheimer. Marty Schottenheimer's old high school. We all remember the
Marty.
all-time great coach. And also a fellow classmate of mine is the athletic director up at Fort Cherry, guy I went to high school with. So I was kind of, I was one way or the other. I like, Quip is my team that I do root for, But at the end of the day, I wouldn't mind seeing Tom's Fort Cherry Rangers do it either. These two teams play yesterday. Aliquippa wins 65-53. And Aliquippa now goes on to play on Friday at 2:00 p.m. against the winner of Holy Cross and Constitution, which I didn't look up. They did play later last night. So whoever won the game between Holy Cross and Constitution will be facing Aliquippa on Friday at 2 p.m. for the state championship. Aliquippa made it there last year. However, they didn't win. So they are going to try to get back there and win the state gold this year.
Let's go. I'm rooting for Quick. I always root for Quick. Let's go.
And finally, the Blackhawk girls, who is also still in the running, all they had to do was beat Wyomissing. Wyomissing. Let me ask you guys, do you know what the significance of Wyomissing High School is?
No.
This is where Taylor Swift went to high school. She went to school all the way up until 10th grade. People say, hey, did you know Taylor Swift is from Pennsylvania? That is the school she was from, was Wyomissing. And Blackhawk goes in, upsets Wyomissing by a score of 47-31. And they go on to the state championship game. So we have 3 WPIAL teams from right here.
Nice.
District 7. They go on to play the winner of Universal and Scranton Prep. That game is going to be Saturday at noon. So the Blackhawk girls, Aliquippa boys, Lincoln Park boys, they're all going to Hershey to try to win that state gold over the next few days, guys. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday are those games. Lincoln Park plays Thursday at 8, Aliquippa Friday at 2, and Blackhawk Saturday at noon. If you want to keep up with that and cheer on and keep up with our local teams here.
I have the team.
What's that, Derpy?
I have the team that Aliquippa plays.
Who is it?
Holy Cross.
They get Holy Cross. Aliquippa and Holy Cross Friday at 2:00. All great teams, guys. Lincoln Park, out of their mind. They got players that are D1. Cummings, of course, brother of Nellie Cummings last year from Pitt. He's going to Pitt next year. Malik Thomas, one of the top 5 juniors in high school in the nation. These are really good teams, guys. If you want to keep up, I hope they're on TV, but there you go. These 3 games, Aliquippa, Lincoln Park, and Blackhawk girls.
Oh.
Also, guys, the Riverhounds, they lost the other day. They play next on Saturday. They host Louisville City FC. That game is Saturday at 4:00. Mike, the Riverhounds are back.
Let's go Hounds, baby. You got to get that win. Get that win back. Stumbled into the first game of this season. So let's get that first one under the belt.
All right, man. Why don't you go and tell everybody about the website, Mike?
The2WNinjas.com over there. We got all kinds of good stuff. We got what do we have over there, right? We got our social media links. We got the merch store, and we got the blog up there. And blog will be updated again at the end of the week. I'm starting to do it on Fridays now, so take a look out by Friday. New blog will be up.
That's www.the2WNinjas.com, www.the2WNinjas.com. I suggest you go check it out because it's really cool. As I said on Monday, I went over to look into it and maybe turn some stones over to see if I could find anything to yell at Mike about on the air. But I got to admit, it's a very, very nice, well done, professional looking web page. So do go check it out, everybody. www.the2WNinjas.com. All right, guys. This question of the day is a Duquesne question. Of course, the Duquesne Dukes joining the big dance for the first time since 1977. You guys ready for the question of the day?
Ready.
Put your thinking cap on, Derpy. Here we go. The Duquesne Dukes basketball team last made the big dance in 1977. Name one of the 3 teams that they faced and beat in the conference tournament before going into the big dance. They beat 3 teams, 3 familiar names. You'll know all 3 of them. Name just one team that they beat in their conference tournament that year, which was the last time they went to the big dance and lost to Virginia Military Institute in their first game in the big tournament that year. I just need you to give me one of the 3 teams that they faced and beat in the conference tournament. Go ahead and think that over, guys. We are live 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, right here, every day, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the show that we do live, brand new every day, we take and we upload over on Spotify in podcast form. If you just want to listen to the show, maybe you don't have a chance to watch it, put your earbuds in. Whatever you're doing, you can listen to the Two Dumb Yinzers. New show uploaded every day at 8 o'clock p.m. on Spotify. Check it out. All right, guys, the question of the day is this. The Duquesne basketball team last made it to the big dance in 1977, where they lost in the first round to Virginia Military Institute, VMI. I just need you to give me one of the three teams they played and defeated in the conference tournament, which helped them get to the big dance. Mike, I need just one college name. There's three of them. They're all familiar. There's not going to be any that you don't recognize, like VMI. They beat these three teams. Mike, which one? Give me one.
Let's go with North Carolina.
North Carolina. Is that your final answer?
That's the final answer.
All right. Got you locked in. Derpy, same question to you. The Duquesne basketball team last made the big dance in 1977, where they lost to Virginia Military Institute in the first round. They played three teams in the conference tournament to get there. Give me just one of these colleges that they
Mike stole my thunder.
North Carolina?
Yeah, but I'm not going to go with North Carolina. He stole it, though.
Hey, he does.
Give me Kansas.
Kansas. And is this your final answer?
Yes.
All right. I'm locking you in.
Lock
All right, guys. So here we go. The question of the day. It's a Duquesne Dukes question. This might be the only day all year, maybe in your lifetime, that you get a Duquesne Duke trivia question, but here it is. The Duquesne basketball team last made the big dance in 1977 when they lost in the first round to VMI. They played three teams in the conference tournament. They beat three teams in the conference tournament. I just need one. Mike says North Carolina. Derpy says Kansas. The three teams are Villanova was one.
Ooh.
UMass was two.
Ooh.
And Mike, Penn State being the other.
Oh.
Villanova, UMass, Penn State are the three teams that the Duquesne Dukes basketball team beat in the 1977 March Madness Conference tournament. I'm sorry. Before going off to the March Madness Big Dance, Penn State, UMass, Villanova.
Damn.
Mike, anything before we get ready to take off?
I got nothing, man. I'm scrolling through Twitter. Oh yeah, here we go. I got one. So Marvin Harrison Jr., he didn't work out at the combine. Like teams in the top 10 said, hey, don't either bother working out at the pro day. We kind of know you're going in the top 10. Every team in there has seen what we want to see from you. Don't work out. So he didn't work out at the pro day today. So he attended, and people online are ripping him because he didn't work out. You have the teams that are going to pick you in that range say, hey, don't work out. We know kind of where you're going to be drafted. You're getting drafted from one of these 9 teams, and people are freaking out about it. When you're more or less your prospective employer say, hey, you can chill, just chill. And you do, and people still rip you for it. I find it funny. Like, they literally said, you have nothing to prove, relax, and he followed their advice, and he's getting ripped for it. I just find it funny.
Right.
He's from Ohio State. I would love to rip him, but I can't.
Yeah. Derpy. Any wise words from Derpy before we take off? I can just feel the wisdom of Bruin.
Let's go Dukes.
Yes. Yep. All right. Mine is this. WrestleMania coming up here in a couple of weeks, guys. It's the 2-day event. I like how they started doing the 2-day event, a few years back. I dig. But April 6th and April 7th, right before we all died from the eclipse and the blood moon and the comets and the locusts, and the 6th and the 7th, guys. A couple weeks away, WrestleMania right around the corner.
I can't wait. Cody Rhodes. Ugh. I hate him. I'm
just thinking about Liv Morgan, but that's me.
Well, yeah, me too.
But I also do want to say thank you to everybody for watching today. Thank you for hanging out.
Yes.
Thank you for coming. We appreciate each and every one of you. As always, we wouldn't do it without you.
Yep.
The guys on the board, thank you so much. You guys always keep it interesting. Mike, speak now, forever hold your peace. Anything.
I got nothing. Thanks
I
for
got
tuning
something.
in. Oh,
Derpy.
Derpy got something.
A arrest warrant for Cam Sutton,
Oh, really? What's up with
Oh,
him?
wow.
domestic violence charge in Florida.
All right, there you go,
Good,
guys.
good thing we didn't resign him.
Right. All right, guys. So there you go. That is the show for the day for Hump Day.
Okay.
Be back tomorrow to do it all over again. For Mike at the Steeler Central Mobile Studio, for Derpy, myself, the two dumb Yinzers, we're gonna have a great Hump Day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.
Hey.